Welcome back to RamZland. Today we're learning about phase changes from a solid that melts into a liquid that boils into a gas. But we brought along some LN2, a cryogen with Diego over here. We want to find out if we can sublimate the carbon dioxide gas in that balloon straight into a solid, into chunks of dry ice. So Diego, go ahead and lower that balloon into your vat of liquid nitrogen. What is happening to that balloon? Let's watch. You're doing great, Diego. The balloon is getting smaller. It's shrinking. Keep pressing it down in there. You're doing great. You can get that balloon so flat that it'll look like a pancake. Just leave it in there. Now, the balloon doesn't have a hole in it. Instead, the gas inside is condensing so quickly that it's not becoming a liquid, it's becoming a solid. Okay, pull it on out. Now watch what happens to the balloon as it warms up. What's it doing, Diego? Is it getting bigger again?
Yeah, by inflating.
It's inflating itself, but what's really happening here is the dry ice inside the balloon is evaporating back into a gas. It's changing state, and it appears that the balloon inflates itself, when really the carbon dioxide in the gas never went anywhere. It just changed from a solid, and now it's turning back into a gas. Diego, you're doing fantastic. Diego, should we let everyone else give it a try? Let's let everyone else try it. And I'm here with table one. This is Fred, and this is Jennifer, and this is Greg. And Greg, who are you holding there?
Sleepy.
And Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea is going to be part of our experiment. And we've got a vat of liquid nitrogen here. And if we can blow on it, you can see that. And over here, we've got our balloon experiment. But Fred, it looks like you have a flask that's hooked up to it, because we want to see when that balloon condenses its gas, what the gas looks like in the flask. So Fred, go ahead and tip that over and lower the balloon into the liquid nitrogen. And keep your finger on the neck of it, because once it starts to inflate again, it's going to want to pop off. You're doing great. Lower that down. Fantastic. And we know the carbon dioxide in the balloon is condensing into a solid right now. It's condensing into dry ice. But we want to see it inside the flask. We want to see what's really happening inside the balloon. And this is one way you can do that. You're doing great, Fred. Make sure the neck of the balloon isn't getting kinked. That's great. Okay, Fred, you ready? Slowly take it out. Keep your hand around the neck of the flask. Use your other hand to hold the balloon up so the dry ice can go down into... There it is. I see it. I see it. That is so awesome. Like right over here, I can see a chunk right there. Now see, that dry ice is going to start to change phase again. It's going to start to warm up and evaporate. And when it does, look what the balloon does. The balloon inflates back up again. Now if you wait, the remaining gas is going to go up into the balloon, and you'll see what's left on the bottom there. I can see some dry ice right there on the corner there, bouncing around. And my balloon is inflating. And so, Fred, what we did here is we skipped a phase change. Instead of a solid melting into a liquid and then turning into a gas, we had a solid that went straight from a solid state to a gas state. And that's called sublimation. Fantastic, Fred. Okay, let's let table two try. And here I am with table two. This is Dorian, Melody, and over here I have Julia. And Melody, go ahead and lower that balloon into the liquid nitrogen, and let's watch it condense into dry ice. It should get smaller and smaller. Now hold it down. There we go, all the way down into it. Yeah. You're doing great. That's fantastic. Keep going. Make sure this stays upright so the neck of the balloon doesn't get kinked or folded. Otherwise it won't let anything fall down into the flask. No, you're doing really good. Okay, dear, are you ready to flip it? Okay, draw it out, turn it over, hold that balloon up and give it a little shake. There it is. Look, look, there it is. Do you see it? And meanwhile, the balloon is inflating. And down here, I can clearly see that gas that's sublimated down at the bottom here.
It's white.
Uh-huh. If you feel it, it's cold. Put your hand right here. Feel right there. See how cold it is?
That's kind of cold.
Very cold. Cool, Melody. You did fantastic. Good job. And here we are with table 4, and I'm sitting here with Gift and James and Hansla. And James, you're going to lower the balloon and see if we can condense that CO2 into dry ice. Here he goes into the vat of liquid nitrogen. You're doing great. Don't be afraid to press down on the balloon. There you go, it's shrinking. And we know as that balloon shrinks, the gas inside is becoming a solid. It's sublimating from CO2 gas into solid dry ice. And that's why it appears to be getting smaller. It's not leaking, there's no hole in the balloon. It's just changing state inside of the balloon. You're doing great. Now, James, for this next part, when you do flip it over, you want to keep your hand on the neck of the flask because as the balloon reinflates, it's going to want to pop off the flask. So you want to keep your fingers like right here and hold on to it. Okay, I think you're ready. So put 2 fingers on the neck and flip it over. Flip it over, 2 fingers on the neck. Hold it here. Hold it here, flip it over. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Let's see what goes down into the flask. Oh, there it is. There it is. And our balloon is inflating. And we can see there's some dry ice right there. You can see it right there, starting to form. Very cool. You're doing great, James. You're doing fantastic. We're going to take a break from this clip for the phone. Hang on. And here we are with table 5. This is Chase. And over here I have Jada and Ovando and Cameron. And we're ready for your phase change experiment with liquid nitrogen. Go ahead, Chase. Lower that balloon into the LN2 and see what happens. Good job. Getting smaller and smaller. That's fabulous, Chase. Okay, you ready to lift it out? Turn it over, hold on to the neck of it, and lift that balloon so we can see what goes down into the flask. There it is. Oh, we can see it.
Is that liquid?
Can you see it right here? Do you want to touch it, Jada? Feel how cold that is.
It feels like hail.
And while that evaporates, you have the gas that is evaporating from the dry ice here, goes back up into the balloon and inflates the balloon again. Fantastic, Chase. That was perfect. And here we are with table 6. And I have Mason Smith. And over here I have Vanessa and Anahi and Mason Crowley. Okay, Mason, lower the balloon into the liquid nitrogen. You're doing great. Try to keep that flask so it's upright so that the neck of the balloon doesn't get kinked. You're doing great. And you'll see your balloons getting smaller and smaller. Okay, and Mason, let's slowly take it out. Tip over the balloon while you hold on to the neck of the flask there. There you go. That's great. Oh, and we can see it coming down. Fantastic. Vanessa, do you want to touch the outside of the flask? You'll feel how cold it is there. You're doing great, Mason. Anahi, do you want to touch the outside of the flask? Very cool. And that balloon inflated right away as that evaporated from the flask back into the balloon. Great job, Mason.